page 160. Did you open the book? Okay, now. So here you can see the half Africa and the cheetah became inseparable. So, can you hear me? Guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell me about what do you know? Okay, so do you know what is cheetah? What is it?
Yeah. Cheetah?
Yes, cheetah, the animal cheetah. What do you know about him? About
yeah.
it? Okay, what is it?
It is the fastest animal in the world.
Good, okay. Which type of animal is it? Which type of animal is it? Is it a mammal? Is it a reptile? Or is it a bird? Or it is the mammal. Within the mammal, it's cat type, one of the fastest animal in the world that cheetahs includes in the cat group of animal. So, next question: where do they live? Where do they live? Okay, where do they live? Okay. Do you know where do they live?
In Africa, right?
In Africa, and do you know if you're going to specify? Do you know any specific place? If you know. In Africa, okay, that's good enough. Okay, let's move on. So today's our story is about it's a fictional story. The fictional story. In the following story, the Africa is young boy. Okay, the boy name is named Africa. As a young boy, he is a young boy in Morocco, in North Africa. As you said, cheetah territories in Africa, as well as in Serengeti, middle of Africa, South Africa. They have actually the warm place they live in. So he lived in the desert in the part of Morocco. Part of Morocco. Part of Morocco. Part of Morocco he lives, and also he calls it Yellow Africa. He used to cross the desert with the traders and their camels and would entertain the men with his storytelling. He had no name, so they called him Africa. The boy name is the young boy we calling him is Africa. But one day his master sold him as a slave to the king of the goats and shepherd in the part of Morocco, which he calls Gray Africa as well. As that part of Africa, they call it Gray Africa, but where he has lived is in Yellow Africa. So here, Africa looks after the goats and sheep. This is our part of the story. So have a look. Before we're going to start, let's have a look at the vocabulary that come up from our story. If you're going to see the word, I have a translated weary. It means very exhausted or get tired through overuse or great strain or stress. If that means you're weary, it means tired and exhausted out of the stress.
Miss Fatima, I can't hear you.
Okay, next one, relief. Relief, it means the feeling that comes when something is burdensome, is removed or reduced. We call it, it means a relief. But as a verb, to relieve, the relief is a noun, but relief is a verb. As a verb, provide physical relief. Association is usually it's a formal organization of a people. Spectacle is a Where is it? So, spectacle. Hold on. It means something or someone seen unnoticeable or unnoticeable or unusual sight. We call it this was a spectacle. That means something extraordinary or different. Okay. Combat is when usually we say there's a fight. It's engagement fought between two military forces, but their opponents means immediately after that. So here we're going to read our story now, and I'm going to read the story. This time you're going to listen carefully. Then we will move on to the comprehension and the next step. Okay. So now, next page here. This is the African cheetah. If you can see the picture on your book as well, this is an African cheetah. So this is the listening, the story, and just follow up my reading. Okay. Africa and the cheetah. The king of goat wasn't a cruel master, but he loved his flocks. He wasn't cruel, he was a master, but he loved his flocks more than anything in the world, more than anything in the world. His curly white hair was like sheep wool. He ate nothing but goat's cheese and drank nothing but ewe's milk. And when he bleated his words, the long hair of his goatee beard twitched. His long hair has been twitched. He lived in a tent instead of a house. He lived in a tent instead of a house. To remind him of the times when he was attended to the flocks himself, he never got up off the vast, curly black sheepskin that was his bed. And next, yes, I am too old now. Otherwise, I wouldn't need a shepherd. I would need a shepherd. If a ewe fell ill or a ram broke his leg or the goat disappeared, he sacked his shepherd on the spot. Do I make myself clear, Africa? The boy nodded. Right. Sit down, listen. Okay, here. I wanted to ask you, what is this part is about? The first part which we read. Who can tell me? First part of the story. First part of the story is about what?
Describing the king.
Describing the who? Describing who? The king of goats.
The king.
How did they describe about him? Is he, what kind of master is he? Not cruel. And what else?
He wasn't a cruel master.
And what else? Shortly. Loved his flocks. What else? Ate goat cheese, right? Goat cheese only. Cheese, and what else?
Yeah.
And drank nothing but ewe milk. What does it mean, ewe? They call it, they pronounce it yo milk. which is the female goat. Female female sheep, I mean. The female goat's milk, they call it, the female goat, they call it ewe. Okay, what else? Any other description about him? What does he have? How does he look like? And
he has a curly white hair.
Okay. Has curly white hair. Okay, what else? And slept on what? Sheep skin. That was a description about the king of the goat, right? Is that?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So let's move on to the next, our next screen. The next part of the story here. Hold on. Okay, now. Here, yes, I'm too old now. Otherwise, I wouldn't need a shepherd. If a ewe will fell ill or ram broke his leg or goat disappeared, he sacked his shepherd on the spot. Do I make myself clear, Africa? The boy nodded. Right. Sit down and listen. The king of goats held out a large piece of cheese. Large piece of cheese. He held out a large piece of cheese and a bowl of milk that was still warm. He taught him how to be a shepherd. Africa looked for the king of goat for 2 whole years. Worked, I mean. And the inhabitants of the great Africa thought it was incredible. So the old man doesn't normally keep a shepherd for more than 2 weeks. Usually, no more than 2 weeks, no. What is your secret? But Africa didn't have any secret. He was a good shepherd, and that was all there was to it. He understood the flocks don't have enemies. If a lion or cheetah eats a goat from time to time, it's because he is hungry. Africa had explained this to the king of goats. King, if you don't want the lions to attack your flocks, you'll have to give them something else to eat. So feed the lions. The king of the goats stroked his beard. All right, Africa, perhaps it's not such a bad idea. So whenever Africa led the goats to pasture, he laid out a large chunk of meat that he brought with him from the town. Here's your share, lion. So please leave my goats and hold on. Leave my goats alone. The old lion of Grey Africa took his time sniffing the chunks of meat. And you are a funny one, shepherd. You really are a funny one. And then he tagged him. Okay. So second part of the story. What was this about?
It was describing how to be a good shepherd.
Second part. Okay, second part. What was it?
I think it was describing how to be a good shepherd or how to be
about
shepherd.
Who? About Africa.
Yeah.
And his
shepherd.
way of being a shepherd, right? Okay. Yeah. So for example, how? Could you mention some point? Could you make some point? For example, how? You normally, there's the king of the goat, normally, king of goats, didn't what? Keep a shepherd more than how long?
Yes.
2 weeks, right?
2 weeks.
But Africa, how long has been with him now?
Yeah.
with
It was
him how long? 2
well,
years,
2 years. 2 years.
right? 2 years. Okay, what else?
Mm,
Okay. And even Africa gave the king, what did he give? An advice. What was this advice?
It was
To feed the hungry lion or cheetah. If he didn't want to lose a piece from his
close.
flock, right? So anything
Yeah.
else?
No.
Okay, so let's move on to the another part of the story. Okay, let's go on to our story. So here the third part here. Africa held a longer conversation with the cheetah. One evening, hold on, let me remove this window because it's covering my screen. Okay. Okay, conversation with the cheetah. One evening when the cheetah was creeping cautiously towards the flock, Africa said, "It's no good pretending to be a snake, cheetah. I heard you." The astonished cheetah poked his head above the dry grass. "How did you know I was here, shepherd? No one ever hears me. No one ever hears me. I come from yellow Africa. There is so much silence back there, it sharpens our ears. Listen, I can hear two fleas arguing on your shoulder." With one snap of his teeth, the cheetah devoured both fleas. "Right," said Africa, "I need to talk to you." The cheetah was impressed, so he sat down and listened. "You are a good hunter, cheetah. You can run faster than all the other animals, and you can see further too. Those are skills a shepherd needs." There was a silence. They heard an elephant trumpeting in the distance, then came to the sound of shots ringing out. "Foreign hunters," murmured Africa. "Yes, they are back," said the cheetah. "I saw them yesterday. They were sad and silent for a while." "Cheetah, what about teaming up with me as a shepherd? What's in it for me?" Africa stared at the cheetah for a long time. Two old tears had left black strain that went right down the corner of his mouth. "You need a friend, cheetah. You need a friend, cheetah. And so do I." And very soon Africa and cheetah were inseparable. Okay, did you hear the story now? So let's move on to our whiteboard now over here.
Yeah.
The third part of the story. What was the third part of the story?
It was a conversation between
Aha,
Africa and cheetah.
okay. So the third part was about conversation between the cheetah and
Africa.
Africa. So how it was it? So what was that conversation about?
Africa wanted the cheetah to be a shepherd.
Africa wanted the cheetah, wanted cheetah wanted to maybe team up with
The cheetah.
cheetah and even to be friends.
His friend.
Okay, what else?
Friend.
And the cheetah was impressed. Impressed by what? Impressed of what?
Impressed.
Africa's what? He can hear, he can feel, and so what do you call it? Impressed of Africa's sense of hearing and impressed of his hearing. Here, sense of hearing. The conversation about they wanted to team up cheetah and even to be friends. Cheetah was impressed of Africa's sense of hearing. What else? So what is the ending of the story? What do you think? What is the ending of the story?
I don't know.
What was
Ending is
So now let's talk about the ending. Ending of the story.
Cheetah were separate.
The ending of the story. Okay, now the ending of the story about what? They are inseparable. Okay, and why? Because what do you think? Because
they are friends now.
it's just because friends? Why they become friends? What was the reason of to becoming friends?
It was
What kind of ability do they have?
they can hear each other. No
For
one.
example, Africa has Africa. What
Yeah. Since
Africa can
hear what animals say.
hear even a tiny bit of sound. What about cheetah?
Cheetah.
What is a cheetah's ability?
Run. He's a good hunter and he's the
Is
fastest
the
animal.
fastest animal and good.
And he's a good hunter.
Okay. So let me hold on. Let me tidy it up a little bit more here because it's a bit messy over here. Let's say here. The king of the goats was like that, and second part of the story here was here like this, and he was like that, and as well as here, and I'm going to extend it a bit better. Okay, third part of the story, and this is the ending of the story. Sorry, because I mismanaged my space. Next time I will be careful about that, okay? So here, so this is the story about the first part of the story describing about a goat. About the ghost. Here's a, okay. So now let's go to our second part of the lesson. Here. Here. Comprehension. Describe the daily life of the king of the goat. What kind of master he was? Now, can you make it short and quick? Describe the daily life of the king of the goat. What kind of master he was? Okay, Dua, could you please? Dua, are you there? Okay, Fatima?
He
Sir,
Okay.
what kind?
He said, describe the daily life of the king. Daily life of the king. His daily life. And then what kind of master he is. So simply, what would you say?
is and
He,
drink nothing.
excuse me again,
He eats only goat cheese and drink nothing but goose milk.
he eats and drinks nothing but goat cheese and use milk. And what kind of master he is?
So, yes.
Okay. All right. Do you think it's enough answer? Okay, we will go shorter. Then you can
Yes.
write it on your own, bit specific. Okay. So next question: why was Africa such a good shepherd? Why was he good at it? Why he was a good shepherd? Why he was such a good shepherd?
Because
He understood that flocks don't have enemies.
Because what? What did you say, guys? I cannot hear you.
because
He understood that flocks don't have enemies, and he knew how to work, like how to give them food to don't attack his animals.
He knows. He knows what? Because you
that flocks don't have enemies.
flock don't have any enemies. Why? Usually, in Africa, they will have enemies. Why the flocks doesn't have any enemies? Do you think is that a good enough reason?
Because
Now I'm going to leave it a question
no,
mark here. You're going to check it again because it's not a satisfactory answer, okay? So next one, how did Africa astonish the cheetah? Why was Africa's hearing so sharp? Okay, this answer is must be very easy for you guys. Why was his hearing so sharp? Where?
in Africa.
Which Africa?
Yes.
Yellow Africa, where? Okay. What kind of yellow Africa is what? Where?
There was silence.
There
It was
was
silent.
silence. Oh, sorry. Silent place. Okay. Line number 43. Have a look at the line number 43. Line number 43, it says, astonished cheetah poked his head above the dry grass. How did you know that? And no one ever hears me. I said, I come from Yellow Africa. There is so much silence. So much silence back there. It is sharpens our ear. Place that sharpens sharpens their, let's say their ears. Okay. Okay. So now, sorry, the another one part is gone. I hope you caught.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, now, so I'm just going to leave this the rest of the question on your own because we have described about the story plenty of time on our whiteboard. So could you please answer the questions on your own and make it brief answers, okay? And at the same time, next one we have this here, looking closely. You have to make your questions shortly, briefly, okay? Okay, that's it for today's lesson, guys, because I'm running out of time. And we will continue later.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, guys, see you next time.